think of something serious.
Thanks, Julie and Leslie, for agreeing to meet me and discuss the proposed changes to Learning Pool. Just to give you both a bit of background on the discussion, we're hoping to make changes to the Learning Pool website so new learners joining a class won't need to create their own logins. I know here at the Dev Centre that we've already overcome this problem by pre-registering people, the learners, and giving them a login details during their first lesson. What I'd like to know is, what do you think the reasons are, or what are your reasons for pre-registering the learners? What's the benefit of that?
I suppose for us, we understand that once they've, first of all, pre-registering them is important because a lot of time is taken up in the first class in registration. If something was going wrong, it should sometimes be an hour before all the registrations be done, so it's an hour out of a learner's time. In a 2-hour class, that's unacceptable really. So that was the benefits of pre-registering. Is that I can't remember the rest of the question now. What was the rest of the question?
The benefits of the pre-registration. I mean, are these people having used computers before? Is this sort of a bit of an alien subject for them? They're not used to the keyboard and things like that?
Yeah, I think it's more than the keyboard, isn't it?
I think they're nervous on the first night anyway. So if they've got the password that they can log in straight away, it gives them a bit of confidence, because if something goes wrong in the first lesson, you know, plus they feel as if maybe it's them doing it wrong. And sometimes it's just the process, you know, and nerves and
I think, you know, asking someone to come into a class and say, right, we need to select a username, we need to select a password. They don't understand the jargon of a username or a password. They must be thinking, I mean, I remember when I thought, username, what can I use? Oh, my name, you know, but people are really confused about it all. And then coming back after that, then they think, oh, what did I pick now? I can't remember my password. So by Lorraine doing the registrations, it meant that we've got a list of the passwords there for them. We can keep reminding them, and then when they're ready and comfortable, they can change their password if they want to. But it gives them a comfort zone, I think, to start off.
And there's these rules as well that we apply, that the username has to be a certain length. Then you've got to use numbers in your password, and I think it is quite confusing.
And I think we understand, we've got a bit of a technical background, so we understand the foundations of the computer. Like, we know things have to be over a certain length in password protection. But people new in just don't understand that concept at all.
No.
So,
do you think there's a better way of us getting these logins created?
I think for all new students, I think we should set the logins before they can go on the first night of the class, really. After that, they can go back in themselves, and can't they, when they're comfortable with it. I have got issues about people who are not logging at the moment, though, because we've obviously got a lot of learners who aren't coming into IT classes, who don't get the same support at the moment to log in. So if they come on to use a computer, it means having to do it like maybe 10 weeks into their learning, they need something, so we've got to go back through the process again then. So perhaps all learners coming through the system should have some sort of pre-registration going on.
With the TRIO course, I was given my details and I had to put in then the password. What do you think about actually pre-creating sort of random logins and then just allocating that person's name against them, so you just pick the next number on or whatever?
Well, that just makes sense, doesn't it? Really?
I mean, a register could be kept then, really. Of the allocation of numbers.
And maybe just use the next one on. If there was a way of automating the process through the new MIS system, the Management Information System that they're about to have in Theodore Road, the system called MATES, do you think that would be a good way of doing it? And how would you like to receive that information?
I think the more that can be done before the learner comes to the point of learning, the better. And for the centres, the better it is. And the less people involved in it, the clearer it becomes, I think. And for us, it's just, we can either have it through the learning pool, the information through the learning pool, or an email to tell us what those logins are, you know. I think that would be sensible, really. I don't see the point in having layers and layers of people with different levels of responsibility, I suppose, you know. This one does this, this one does that, and then the learner does this, and you all it gets very confusing for everybody, doesn't it? You know, so cleaner the better, really.
The security measures that we've got in place with the authority are quite strict. Do you see the need for a login at all, apart from the fact that they've got a personal folder?
yeah, for me, the only purpose of a login from a learner's point of view would be to go direct back to their settings in their own folders, but most people are using sticks now anyway.
Yeah.
In the other lab we've got, they haven't got it linked to their names, they've just got a number, they can just log in, anyone can go in and log in. We don't have any problems at all with security, because in fairness, most of them haven't got the skills to do any damage really. You know, they wouldn't want to go into somebody else's file server, they're just coping with the classwork that they've been given. So I'm a real advocate of the less security the better really. I think people need to learn responsibility in using a computer, and we monitor them, don't we, sensibly.
Do you think in the future that we might go to the sort of things that they're testing in airports and banks and that, where you use your iris recognition or maybe fingerprinting? I mean, is that too high tech, do you think?
It would be interesting, wouldn't it? Then we'd know everything. Well, we say things are too high tech, but a few years ago we wouldn't have been sitting here looking in the camera talking to you, would we?
No.
You know, we'd have been writing something down on a bit of slated chalk. Well, we still do sometimes, but no, I think there will be a time when, if that's the easiest thing for a learner, so be it.
I think in the long term there is talk of this government database with us all having joined up information that may come a time where, you know, you wouldn't need so much of this process really.
The only problem I've got with that is there is a civil liberty issue here, isn't it? It depends why it's being used. For me, if it's for the benefit of the user, make it clear and simple for them, that's great. But I don't want anyone to come here thinking that they're going to be, you know, put on a database and all their background checked and all that. That's not our job to do that at all.
No.
But nevertheless, I can see the day coming when these things will happen, really.
So for the moment, we'd be happy to go down the avenue of maybe getting pre-registered details for the user to allocate a number, and then maybe join the MIS system up so that they can automate that process and make it a bit more personal then.
Sounds just common sense to me, really.
There we are, great. Well, thanks for that. Thanks for agreeing to see me.
Not a problem.